Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for forcing my son to get along with his stepfather? I have 3 kids. Twins. 23, M and F, Ella and Steven. And John 17, M. John was the result of me cheating on Ella and Steven's father, Rob, with John's father, Harry. Harry ran away after he found out I was pregnant. Rob found out about the affair 3 years later. The kids were still young, so we didn't tell them the truth about why we divorced at the time. Rob still loved John and cared for him, which surprises me considering John isn't his biological son. Harry came back into contact with me when John was 10, and although I was a little bitter, I eventually forgave him, and we fell in love and got married. They didn't dislike Harry, but they weren't close with him, which, in John's case, hurt Harry since he is John's real father. It became bad when John was 16. Harry wanted to do something with John, but John said no. Harry snapped and said that they never spent time as father and son, which caused John to say, "Look, I don't hate you or anything, but I don't see you my dad. So stop trying to force me to see you as him. I have a dad, and he's not you." I couldn't take it anymore, and I asked if he would be saying that if Harry was really his father. John looked confused, and it was then I told him the truth, and that his behavior was hurting Harry. That caused John to cry, and he ran to his room. Ella went to comfort him, and Steven glared at me and said, "I hope you're happy you broke that poor kid cause of your butthurt feelings." It's been a year since then, and I think my kids forgive me, but still aren't close with Harry. Recently, it was Harry's birthday and he wanted me and John to spend it with him. John, however, decided that he wanted to watch a movie with his friend. I told him that Harry wants to spend time with him. He said that he's going anyway and that I'm free to ground him when he gets back. When John got back, I told him that his behavior towards Harry is horrible. He told me that he's nice to Harry, but that Rob is his dad. I asked what the point of me telling him the truth if he was just going to be like this. He snapped, "Don't act like you told me the truth for my sake. You told me the truth out of spite and jealousy, because I wouldn't see your affair partner as my dad. And to be frank, I still don't. So your little plan didn't work." And he went to his room. My older kids got wind of what happened, and they called to berate me and told me to stop pushing John to love Harry. I told him that I get that John loves Rob, but Harry is his blood father. Ella told me I'm wrong, that Rob is the one who raised John, therefore Rob is his father. Steven said he's going to rescue his bro the minute he turns 18, which is in a few weeks. I tried to get Rob to talk to John, but he said he wasn't forcing his son to love Harry. I just don't understand. Am I really wrong for wanting my son to love his blood father? Am I the antagonist? Reddit. Now for the top comments. What a shitty mother and person you are. Hate to break it to you, but Rob is John's father. He raised him. How do you expect your kids to want anything to do with the man who broke up their family? I'm surprised they even speak to you. Frankly, AITA. I'm surprised they even speak to you. Frankly, they aren't going to once the youngest turns 18. Hold up. You forgave Harry? For what? For leaving? Y'all are complicit in bad decisions together. The whole situation is messy. You and Harry are tar. You're the a-hole for the bot. For ripping apart the entire family and all 4 lives. Wibta, if I changed my name despite my mother's wishes? I'm 31. And I've hated my name for as long as I could remember. I'm named after my grandmother, and she is a horrible human being. She has always been mean and abusive to my mother, and by extension me. Honestly, after going to therapy myself, I understand somewhat why my mother is the way she is. There was also abuse against me from her. I recently spoke to my father. We've been divorced 4 years, and broke down to him saying how much I hate my name. How it doesn't feel like mine, because my mom has told me my whole life how you are named after your grandma. He told me he had fought tooth and nail to get my mother to change my name, but she wasn't having it and threatened to take me and leave, and he would never see me again. In the 90s he was almost guaranteed not to get custody. So I asked him what he wanted to name me, and when he did I felt such a connection. I murmured the name to myself, and it felt like mine. The names were not similar at all. Think the difference between Mary and Christina. And I loved it. My husband said if I chose to change my name he would of course support me, but when my mother found out she lost her mind. She called me screaming and crying that she had picked my name out when she was 10 years old and that she'd never forgive me. But I might be the because at this point I don't care. My husband has started calling me by my chosen name and I love it. It makes me feel warm. Like me, which I know seems silly because it's just a name. But I need outside opinions. Would I be the antagonist for changing my name? Now for the top comments. YWNBTA. A lot of people don't like their names and choose different names or nicknames. Your mom is on another level. I'd go NC with the loco. It's so funny because I do have a nickname. I was always called Navy, short for Navibrat, growing up. My mom had no issue with that. But now that I want to legally change my name she's losing her mind. And also my grandmother, who I'm named after, doesn't care. My mother tried to get her to yell at me, even though I don't care what that woman thinks. And my grandma told her it's stupid and to leave it alone. NTA as a general rule of thumb. Don't worry about your abuser's feelings. It sure sounds like the people in your life who love you are happy with the change. Am I the antagonist for showing up where my husband was supposed to be? My husband, 42 male, has a boys' night out with his friends every Friday and Saturday, going to the local pub and usually just chats and plays darts with his friends or something. I, 35F, don't know the specifics of their hangout as I don't really pry into that, nor does he really talk about it to me. I'm usually left in charge to take care of the kids on those days, which can be tiring as they're quite young and don't quite listen at times. I've asked him to maybe reduce his boys' night out to just Saturday or just the weekend in general. We aren't religious, but he hasn't been quite receptive to it, saying that I'm being controlling, clingy, and etc. So I just decided to leave it at that, as whenever I try bringing it up, he just gets all defensive and accusing. It just gets tiring to deal with. This happened around 2 weeks ago. But on Saturday, our daughter fell ill and the medicine I had at the time wasn't helping. So I had to drive to our emergency care and called him to come up so he could check on his daughter as he's her favorite parent. He wasn't answering, and all my calls went into voicemail. And I'm gonna admit, I was seriously pissed off. I called him around 15 times or more, if I remembered correctly. And once we finally got out of emergency care, which took a while due to there being tons of families there, so the waiting was long. When we got home, I asked one of my neighbors that I knew well to watch my kids and drove to the pub that he usually visited with his friends for his night out. Well, when I entered the pub, he wasn't there along with any of his buddies, so I was confused. I tried asking the bartender if he had seen my husband or just any of his friends, but he said no, and just looked as confused as me, and so I just left. He came home a couple hours later, and I questioned him about his location and he just refused to answer and kept saying he was there, and that I was just blind, and started questioning me why I was there in the first place, accusing me of being a controlling witch, etc. I asked him why he didn't answer his phone, and he just said his phone was dead and he didn't have a charger, then just stormed off to our room. Now, he's been silent around me and refusing to talk to me unless I keep pestering him. And now I'm starting to feel like tar, as I think what I did was kinda controlling, and I don't want it to seem like I'm doubting him or think he's untrustworthy, but at the same time, he didn't answer my calls at all and just brushed it off. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. Your husband goes out Friday and Saturday nights with the boys every week. Lies about where is he and what he's doing. He's not out with the boys. He's a complete R. The only thing you've done wrong is putting up with his BS. And she has no idea what goes on these nights because she doesn't want to pry. I found that super weird. When my husband goes out with his friends he tells me about it on his own. And I do the same. Because we aren't doing anything secretive or to hide. Much less do we make each other feel too timid to even ask. He's doing this every single Friday and Saturday night and she's too afraid to ask her husband what he gets up to every single weekend because he's made her feel like it's prying. NTA, I bet he's not out with the boys. Be prepared to find out he's got a side piece stashed somewhere. You'll be better off without him. Exactly. I would ask the partners of the boys, not the boys. Guess they would lie either if they really are out every weekend for boys night. I bet they aren't. Plus, if they really are in bars every weekend that age, he needs to grow up. He has family. He should behave like this. But if they really were out while lying, his reaction is suspicious and way too much. So he's gaslighting and lying and probably cheating. You're better off without this human being, not the a-hole. Am I the antagonist for wearing jeans and a top at my sister's wedding? I, 19F, have a more masculine style. I'm a straight cis woman BTW, so before anyone brings up my sexuality or gender, let's get this out of the way. I simply dress more masculine and casual. I never liked doing my hair or my makeup, and I was never into that feminine stuff. My sister got married last week, and ever since her wedding planning started taking place, I've been told that I should dress appropriately for the wedding. They expected me to make my hair or makeup, but this is just not for me. I'm not like that at all, and I don't think I should change the way I'm for a wedding. My mom kept telling me to at least wear something nice, even if it's not a dress, but honestly I didn't feel comfortable in anything. I tried on some suits etc, and while they looked nice, this is not my style at all. I mostly wear jeans and sweats, so I decided to simply wear a more expensive and stylish pair of jeans that I own with a blue top that is not casual, but not formal either. But it's the best I could do, so I'd not be 100% casual, but also feel comfortable. At first I was denied entrance at the venue because the venue is black tie only, but my sister tried to convince the owner to let this go this once because I'm her sister. My sister barely spoke to me or acknowledged me all night. After the wedding, my parents kept telling me how immature I was about the whole thing and that I owe my sister an apology. I thought it was going to the extremes, making such a big deal out of some outfits. I called my sister trying to talk it out, and I said that we should really let this go. It's just clothes. My sister then started ranting about how on her wedding day she had to stress about convincing the owner of the venue to let me in because I couldn't follow one simple and common rule. She said that me proving how different I am was more important than making a small compromise and wearing a suit at least. I explained how it's such a stupid argument because why would I have to wear a suit, and how shallow she is for caring so much about appearances and outfits, and that her wedding should be special to her beyond the sparkles and the expensive hair and makeup. She told me I'm an R because just because something isn't important to me doesn't mean that it can't be important to her, and she said she regrets wasting her time trying to talk to the venue owner because I clearly did not deserve it, and I want to seem like I'm better and more different than her. Now for the top comments. AITA, they gave you a ton of options. You were primarily concerned with your own comfort. FYI, no one finds black tie or formal clothing to be comfortable. That's why sweats and jeans exist, so that we can wear them after. No one goes home and says, damn, after a long day I really want to just unwind in some formal wear on the couch while sipping Gatorade. Apostrophe. AITA, how hard is it to wear a pair of semi-smart trousers instead of jeans? Or even a formal jumpsuit? AITA, it was a wedding, and it had a dress code. It's pretty rude and disrespectful to outright ignore it, and you had even been told that you did not have to wear a dress. Tome. A person ignoring the dress code, especially when they had been expressly asked not to do so, would say, I don't care about you and your special day. I only care about myself and my needs. So I think that is why your family is so upset, because they think what you have done is selfish, and so do I. Also, something to consider, you say you have masculine style. Were all the men at the wedding in jeans? If not, then why is not wanting to wear a dress an excuse? Am I the antagonist for making sexy poses while neighbor kept recording me for no reason? My dad passed away recently, and he left me, 26 male, and my sister, 31F, his house. It's super unkempt, so I've been doing lots of yard work outside in the mornings. I'm out there watering the grass in the mornings and evenings. Every single time I've done this, the neighbor right next door, house like this older granny, comes out to her porch and straight up watches me without even hiding it. I introduced myself to her once that me and my sister are the new owners after my dad passed, but it was obvious she didn't wanna talk. Next thing she started coming outside with her phone pointing the camera right at me. In like, is there a problem? She says there's no problem as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I asked her why. Is she recording me then? Neighbor lady goes, what's the problem with me recording if you're not doing anything wrong? It's so fucking weird. I didn't even know how to respond to the situation. Soon as I finished up to go back inside, she went back to her house too. This happens every single day. I'm outside watering the grass. Always the same excuse that she wants to make sure I'm not doing anything else, or if I do it's on camera. So yesterday I got fed up and decided to do something different. When she came out with her phone, I stuck my ass out and put my hand on my hip looking right at her. At first she was like WTF, but then she got really mad when I started wetting myself with the water hose and touching my neck while literally looking directly at her. Was it stupid? Yes, but she put her phone away and started cussing me out for being a pervert. My sister told me later on that she came to the house when I was at work talking about me sexually harassing her, making poses in provocative ways. My sister knows she's a pain in the ass since she probably has nothing better to do with her time. But I still shouldn't have stooped to her level, making her uncomfortable right back. I feel like I'm right on this one, and it wasn't even that bad. Not like I was grabbing my balls or anything, but also can be a dumbass sometimes, so IDK, you guys tell me, was I an asshole? Now for the top comments. NTA. Call her a pervert right back for filming it. Sounds like she really needs to start minding her own business like the rest of us do. Houses change owners. There's literally nothing wrong or weird about that. And it's not like she doesn't know we don't own that house. I introduced us as my dad's kids. We didn't just randomly show up one day. NTA. Sounds like you need a speedo and some music. Do dance suggestively to while you do your outdoor chores. Or to just set up your phone pointed at a yard when you start, so you record everything as well. Hey, wireless security cams can be pretty cheap these days. Any good songs you'd recommend? NTA. Film her filming you, then pan to your poses and post it on YouTube. NTA. I love the idea of him just stopping when she comes out, whipping out his phone, and filming her right back. That lady must be pretty bored if this is all she has to do with her time. Am I the antagonist, the asshole, for telling my mother-in-law I'm gay? So I've been married to my beautiful wife for around 7 months now, after dating for 2 years, and her mother been making comments about my sexuality since the start, saying that I'm secretly a homosexual all the time, and that's due to me having a lot of friends in the LGBTQ+ community that I consider close to me. Now my mother-in-law always tells my wife that I'm gay because I hang out with people from the community, and if my friends are gay it means I am. It always bothered me, not because the assumption, but because of this healthy obsession with who I'm attracted to sexually, despite me marrying her daughter, which is a biological female. So today was talking to my wife on the phone when she was with her mother, and she again made the comment after I said I'm hanging out with one of my friends who is a gay man. So I took matters to my own hands and I did a full-blown coming out to my mother-in-law, telling her that I'm a gay guy. Now my wife knows the reason I've done that, just to get back at her mom, but she is also annoyed at me and said that I took it too far because her mom now is upset and actually thinks that I'm gay, which I don't care really if she believes that, and that it's making her mom uncomfortable around me, and that I should call her and admit to what I've done. But I'm refusing to do that because the way I see it, even if I was into men, as long as I'm not cheating on her daughter, she would not actually give a fuck. So am I the asshole? Now for the top comments. Absolutely love your wife's logic. My mother has been calling you gay from day one, but after that little stunt she thinks you're gay. She has clearly always thought that. What a weird way for mother-in-law insecurity to manifest. NTA. Double down and lovingly describe your last beach next time you see her. This. What would telling mother-in-law the truth actually do? This whole time she'd been told Op isn't gay, right? Why would telling the truth now make a difference? She thought he was gay before, and she thinks he's gay now. If she's told otherwise, She'll still just think he's gay. She's going to think he's gay until someone she believes / trusts, figuratively, slaps some sense into her. My bet is that mother-in-law didn't think Op was gay, but she didn't like that he was friends with gay people, and she thought that, by calling him gay, based on said friendships, he'd eventually stop spending time with people she didn't like. I'm gay, and I think this is a hilarious response. Absolutely not the a-hole. Honestly, I think you should continue this as a running joke. Pride Month is coming up, be sure to have a rainbow flag flying, and wear some Love is Love apparel. Invite mother-in-law to a pride parade, or ask her to join PFLAG. Great idea.